Now listening to the In My Opinion podcast, the home of edutainment, brought to you by Sakali, DTM, and Uzuma. So get your drinks, snacks, relax, and enjoy.
More time, what happens is it's either that or they look at it like, oh, when in Rome, there's the Romans. You can't beat them, join them.
There you go.
How many coup d'etats have happened, Then you actually found out that person ends up being president and just sort of, he just does the same thing the other person does.
Yeah.
That's in a different way.
In a different way.
Literally.
That's what happens all the time.
That's why it's refreshing what's happened recently in, I believe is in...
Which one? Gabon?
No,
Burkina Faso.
Where what countries are where they just literally they've done a coup that apparently they're claiming is a coup.
Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger.
So and I think again they're starting to do really well. I think they've just partnered up recently with Russia and they're trying to create. What's you guys' take on that? Do you think that's beneficial? Do you think in the long run that's what we need? Do you think that's a step in the right direction?
I'm not gonna lie,
I love the way you look.
Me personally,
right. So I feel like she's
I feel like it's too soon to say. I'm not gonna lie.
Of course.
But I feel like for me, I feel like it is because from Mali, I know they got rid of French. As their national language. Then they upgraded the traditional languages to official languages, which is good because 80% of the country, a lot of people are illiterate. They can't read French. I think that's good. I think it's basically just setting the foundation, essentially, just to sort of like work on. And their leader seems to be on the right. Goita, I believe his name is Goita, which is like Keita, which is Mansa Musa's last name.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think they're on the right path.
You don't seem to agree. Yeah.
It's a tricky one because who are Africa's real friends?
Yeah. Speak on it.
You know, you have to be very, very. You really have to know what you're doing. Yeah. I know a lot of people say, they never colonized any African countries and stuff like that. So it's like this, that, and the other. Yeah, okay, that's fine. It's cool, but just know what you're getting into. Yeah, because let's not speak too much on it. But the thing I would like to say on that is that why does Africa always go outside to find the answer?
That's
like
my
you were
problem.
Saying, right? And I've always said this as well. We are our own saviors.
Facts.
Let's stop looking at the sky. Let's stop looking the other side. Let's look within. The answers are within us. Okay? Because listen, we have been on this planet for a very long time.
By the way.
By the way,
Speak on it.
We've been here for a long time and we are connected to some very powerful individuals. Why are we not accessing that frequency and downloading from them? Why are we looking to other countries who even needed what was from our soil to develop themselves? Why?
That's crazy.
So we've got all the minerals. We have got people who are very intelligent on the ground in Africa. Me, I always say, if I was the president or the empress of Africa.
Come on.
Okay.
For me, what I'll do is this. I'll say, okay, all these university students that are getting MBAs, that are getting this, that are getting that, they're sitting there waiting. They have knowledge inside of them that needs to be cultivated and brought out. Eh? Why am I going to Simani, this country, to go and ask them, how do you do this? When our university students are sitting there, jobless.
Doing nothing.
The divine creator, the Most High, has put gifts in them. And they need a forum, they need a platform to now express what has, the answers are within us. Do you understand?
No, 100%.
So if I have money, instead of putting it in Swiss banks, instead of
offshore accounts,
buying the third most expensive car in the world, going to I don't know where to go and build what, I'll say, you know what? I'm going to build this school. I want all the scientists. God has given you science. God has given you this. God has given you all come here. Now start creating.
Yeah.
Yep.
We need solar panels.
By the way,
Create them.
we've got sun.
Do you understand?
It's crazy.
We need, listen, you guys, you're from Nigeria. You're right by the water there. Eh? Why is it that Nigeria doesn't have power 24/7?
It's crazy.
When you could do hydro.
It's insane. But then you have to remember, a lot of the politicians out there, they're all invested in generator companies.
Yeah.
So it's like,
What?
bro, everywhere you go in Nigeria,
the big ones that
is generators everywhere, bro.
It's
So,
not good for the environment.
of course it's not. So, but you gotta think about it. So
That is
you
mad.
telling them to invest in is like they're putting themselves out of business.
Yeah.
Do you know how insane this is? And then if you really think about it, and to your point, what drives me crazy is like, you look at the infrastructure over here in the UK, how they've kind of built everything. I genuinely feel like there's a way you can make the system pay itself back, which is kind of like what they've done here. Just what the people are crying for, like you said, we have brilliant people like in Africa who don't have access to resources to be able to, like an outlet, to
Work
be able
to
to
their
actually
full
show,
potential,
because like you're talking about, you mentioned something earlier on, no, in a compound with no light. Like, how do you expect someone to read books in the dark with candles on? How do you expect like someone to invent something, the next generation car or wherever it is with no electricity? How do you expect some of these to work when create the resources? And I genuinely believe it will be paid back.
Yep.
So when you have permanent electricity, I'm sure there's a way they can make people pay that back. Like so the way we do here, we cry every single day about cost of living going up. We continue to pay back into the system. But we have access to hot water. We have access to constant electricity. We have access to things.
Exactly.
So create the opportunity for people, but they're not going to do it. I don't know why.
It doesn't make sense. And the thing is, I believe Nigeria also outsources its electricity to other countries.
Yeah.
So how are you outsourcing when the source
It's also struggling.
You see, it doesn't make sense.
I see that
It
line.
makes no sense.
Now, to go back to what we were talking about before, about the solution.
Solution, yeah.
Now,
Please.
me, I'm very deep into spiritual aspects.
Yeah.
And also healing is very, very important, right?
Yes.
Very important. Now, one of the, like say the smallest thing, for example, when it comes to education, why is it in Africa, our education system is based on what?
The British standards.
So, yeah, standards, yeah.
Why? First of all, why do we have a Western education
system.
in the first place?
Crazy.
We got our independence.
Independence, yeah.
So many
literally.
years ago.
Yeah. Literally.
And yet we're still continuing with the system of the colonized.
Colonizers.
And then even on top of that, we're fighting to get their certificates because, if we don't, they're not going to accept
How
us
would I
when
get
we
a
go
job?
there.
Yeah.
Why are we looking to get certificates that they will accept? Why don't we need
Backwards,
to have certificates that only are accepted in Africa?
Yes.
Also, them, if they don't have it, they can't.
They can't come.
Yeah.
You're right, because Chinese people, I doubt, they learn on their system and their
facts,
certificates are
yeah.
accepted.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yet, if you're a doctor or nurse, then when you go to any European country, you have to then train again.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
You're not even accepted.
It's not even accepted now.
They'll say you have to, and some of our doctors and our nurses, they're even more well trained.
Yeah.
But they'll come and then they will demote you and say, no, for you have to start from
again.
scratch. Why?
Like,
because I'm African.
Yeah, it's so crazy. We were talking about this the other day. So, like, like back home in Africa, like the nurses and that, when they're training, they train in all areas, everything.
Exactly.
So they have knowledge in all different areas. Whilst you look over here, they only focus in certain things. So some nurses, they don't even know how to do certain emergency procedures.
Wow.
They have because they're only specialized on one thing.
Yeah.
So, but then these people will come over, they have experience, they've trained, they've learned, they're educated in all areas, but you're telling them their education is not counted.
It's not good enough.
Like, it's not good enough. You got to now come, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
And I
It's
think,
crazy.
Sorry, go on.
No, you go.
I was going to say, like, it starts from the top, because even when, sorry to speak on your president, because
No,
I don't know much about mine.
Speak.
But your president, the previous one, Buhari?
Buhari,
When he was ill, he travels outside the country to get
private jet.
But it's like, are you trying to say Nigerian doctors aren't good enough? Like, what message does that send to your own people? If I want to now study medicine, but my own president doesn't trust us, would I want to study it? And it's not just Nigeria. I'm pretty sure most African presidents
Will come overseas.
go outside for their. I know Mugabe was it Thailand or Philippines?
that's
or something.
right, yeah,
It's like that's caused a problem as well. because it makes us feel like we're not good enough. You know,
That's sad.
You know,
but that's shame on you because you're in position of power and you have failed your own country because you think you're going to live forever. Because the time when you do need it, you know that the infrastructure isn't there.
Isn't there.
So now you have to fly overseas.
What does that tell you?
What does that not wake
about
up
the
call,
legacy you're leaving? You know,
it's crazy.
And it's not like most of them don't even go for like heart transplants. They go for minor things, but they'll go abroad, which is just weird to me. But I just wanted to touch back on the Congolese. What's happening in Congo right now? What do you guys think we can do? Should we stop using the iPhones? Should we stop using what can we do? Sorry to put us on the spot, but I'm just thinking from our
people
level.
might look at me like, you lot are hypocrites because you're also enjoying
exactly.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah. So what? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're all in it together.
Yeah.
You know, we're not trying to say that we're better than anyone else.
Yeah.
We're all guilty because every single one of us has got an iPhone.
An iPhone,
right? So we're all guilty, right? But what to do? It's very, very tricky to have the right answer.
Yeah.
At the minimal level, I mean, for us who are over here in the diaspora, most of the time what we do is, you know, we'll protest on our little pages, you know, and say, you know, we're not happy with this, we'll speak our minds and things like that, you know. Sometimes there's been marches, you know, and people go and they march, you know, and things like that. But then you get people who say, what's marching going to do? What's protesting going to do? What's this going to do, you know? So it's very tricky. There are things that can be done, but it depends how far you're
willing to go.
It depends how far you're willing to go.
What say you?
You know?
Me personally. Okay.
Because you know we're relying on you guys your generation to
rise up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, strong. Okay, and the reason why, okay, look at it like this. You see, if we stop using our phones, if we stop using, I'm not gonna lie, it's not just in iPhones, it's in Samsung.
It's in Samsung.
Every phone
every
requires coltan. So I don't think it's gonna make much of an impactful enough change. I think what needs to be done, something needs to be done on that side.
That side, right?
Understand?
Congolese side.
On the ground.
They need to kick out all foreign companies. You need to stop doing that, man. But the craziest thing and the most audacious thing is that when they do that, the foreign company is going to say, what you're doing is not right.
Yeah.
And then get them assassinated. Like, that's literally what's going to happen.
They're going to what?
Just get them assassinated. Whoever's made that decision.
Yeah. Because they just know is so part that they need this.
Or they'll try and grease their palm first.
All that, which probably will normally work.
I think that's already what they're doing. Yeah. I think they're already greasing that, but I just feel like to what you have said, didn't it?
Look, if you look at China, and please don't quote me on any of this, but I know China at one point was a very struggling economy, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Facts.
In the 80s. And then the president said to these companies, yes, you can come here, because Chinese is still communist, but it's a weird communist country because it still allows private entities, right? But they said, you lot are going to come and create the stuff here. You're not going to be creating it outside. And now you see where China is. Congo should be that, bro. Congolese president should be like, listen, yes, you lot can mine the coltan, whatever you want, but whatever you're producing from it must be produced here.
So what you're saying is like they need to negotiate better deals.
That you can't come and take this coltan out of Congo. No, whatever you're going to do, like Nigeria, you guys produce a lot of oil.
But oil,
but no refineries.
Refine it out and then send it back to us.
And then you import crazy.
Mad.
Do you know the honest truth, And I remember my uncle telling me something. So you see France, for example, 1/3 of France's streetlights is made from uranium from Niger.
Right?
Niger,
My uncle
that's
said this to me,
Niger,
and he said, you see, without Africa, France will be a third world country.
I've heard that.
A lot of these countries, they're going to be third world countries once Africa decides to pattern up. That's what they're scared of. That's the thing they're scared of.
Right.
But do you think, I don't want to use this word, you know, the W, do you think it would lead to that if that was to happen?
Yeah,
of course. They won't go.
Possibility.
They're not going to let you
Because
just
this is what I'm saying.
cut them off.
And I think this might be the elephant in the room we don't want to address.
What,
Because
war?
we're not equipped if that does happen.
Africa,
Because if you're telling, if you think about it, if you're telling all of
what's gonna
Europe,
happen?
which I think we all know to be a fact, they're relying heavily on the resources from Africa. So when we're deciding to pull that plug, they're not ready to be a third world country.
Yeah.
So naturally, how's that gonna happen? Because I don't think it's gonna be a amicable negotiation. The relinquishing of the power. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I think like
We keep talking about it, and it's like, once you try to rise up, bye bye, and it's like, do you know what I mean? How?
But what went wrong though? I'm trying to.
What do you mean?
Were we given different brains? Like,
What do you mean?
Is theirs different? Like, I'm trying to understand. Like, what,
the person in presidents?
no, not in president.
The colonizer.
The colonizer.
Like,
how did we end up
Like,
here?
Have they got? If we open our brains, is it different? Have they got like a? Like, I genuinely want to know.
It's probably from
what's-
back in the
what's
day,
gone
bro.
wrong?
Inferiority complex. They probably came, saw us, were intimidated, and thought if we don't pattern these people, we could end up being ruled by them.
They planted. I think what with them, they literally saw into the future and they planted so many seeds.
Yeah,
They planted so many.
I feel like my theory. You know my theory. My theory has always been they was like a dying sort of. It was like a dying place because you start to look at your people. Diseases are propping up out of nowhere. People are dying. There's no resources. Because I've always said this, right? If you're living in a resourceful country like Africa, I remember if you can go back in the days like our forefathers' days, we had everything we wanted. Fruits, all the herbs, everything was there. If you're in this kind of state and people are like, we're talking from kings and queens and things are going nice, you have your spirituality, everything is there. You don't tend to think about evil. I don't know. That's my thinking. You don't tend to, because you had your thing set up.
Yeah.
The only people that can genuinely think to what you're saying, which you're right about that, to start planting, how do we conquer and be able to sustain that? You're only thinking that because of the state that you're in. You have to have been in some state of despair for you to be able to start to think, how do I conquer someone else that has it? So it's almost like me looking at that guy looks successful, I'm broke somewhere else, I don't know where that's where you start to think, okay, I need to create something to go and take that from that person. Because I'm trying to think.
But I feel like that's definitely a possibility. But
that's my theory.
But some of these men are just proud, bro. I'll be so real. When you look at the conquest of Spain and Portugal and how they literally said, we need to civilize these people. For what? We're already civilized.
True. Yeah, it's like what's the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, what's the reason? Because I think that's what to the Uzi's point. It was like, how did this happen?
Yeah,
like, what are they thinking?
Me.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, what's gone wrong?
And I know we also wanted to touch on similar to Congo, the Biafran War, right? What happened in Nigeria due to the partition of Nigeria? How they just put all your tribes into one big country. What actually happened there? Because I actually don't know much about it.
Sorry, before we move on to that, I just wanted to partly answer your question.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Lovely.
Add to what you were saying. I think that, you see, for us as Africans, I think it's so important for us to really study the material that is already out there. You know? This is how we're going to get the answers to how we are as a people right now, how we got here, and how the Bazungu are the way that they are, you know? So, for example, a book that I think Nick Cannon mentioned one time on his podcast, The Iceman. You know, this is written by a Mzungu man who explains the different mindsets. So there is an understanding of the people from the southern hemisphere and an understanding of the people from the northern hemisphere. So people who are from hot countries and people who are from cold countries. You see already that for us from hot countries, we take our time when we're walking.
By the way, we don't overrush.
That's where the timekeeping thing also comes in. Do you see?
I understand.
Because we're not rushing, we have things in abundance. Where are we rushing to?
For what reason?
You know, we just walk there, you pick a mango, guavas.
Matoke just there hanging.
We're chilled.
As long as it's yours.
As long as it's yours.
I tried that one time, I got beaten seriously.
Yeah.
It happens to all of us, don't worry. You climb the neighbor's fence.
For us in our day, it was free, you know? And then you got the Northern Hemisphere mindset where they're always in a rush. They're hurrying because they come from a cold climate. It's cold. And then for them, nothing is growing on that
Nothing
side.
is growing.
The abundance is not there like what we have back home. So there's different mentalities, you know, and how they see things and how they react. So the Iceman is one book, and then you've got the ISIS papers.
ISIS
my
papers.
God.
You've heard about the ISIS papers.
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Frances Creswell-Zing. It's a very good book. If you can get your hands on it, read it, you know.
I've read
ISIS
pages.
Because
Yeah, is it wild?
Yeah, it's wild.
yeah, she gives a theory that can possibly explain how we got to these two different mindsets and why we're set up the way that we're set up.
Wow.
Okay.
So so there's that. But the other thing I was going to say is that, you know, as I was talking about us reading as Africans and going back to the education system, right? Really and truly, part of our healing journey as Africans and for us to get in touch with our spirituality and our ancestors and who we are, right? Our education system is very key. Yeah?
Yeah.
So now you imagine they remove the Western education system. And they say that, okay, if you're from this, say you're from Yoruba or you're from Baganda, you're going to study in your mother tongue. Yeah? That's how you're going to study. And we're going to teach you African history from the beginning. Not from when the Bazungu came and started invading and colonizing us.
Even before that.
Before that, your foundation, about our empires, about the dynasties that we had, the royalty that we had. Now, do you see the shift in your mindset? Imagine if you're teaching African children that you come from empires, you come from kingdoms. Already they're thinking big.
I can do anything.
Do you understand? You speak to them about the technology that was in Kemet, right?
Yeah.
You speak to them about the fact that Africans were building pyramids.
Yeah, not
Do you
aliens,
understand?
Bandang. They say aliens
Not
built the
aliens,
pyramid.
it was Africans.
That already pisses
Of
me
course,
off.
Do you know what I mean?
You're gonna
The
say
fact that you don't want to
aliens
give a
because-
black man credit.
You don't want to give a black
man say aliens.
Aliens.
Exactly. You know?
It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now you see the mindset already that you're setting up for that African child because they come into the world and straight away they're thinking on a different scale altogether. And then speaking our mother tongue is very, very important.
Very important.
Because it has spiritual aspects to it as well, you know. And also we know that when you speak a lot of languages, the brain, it's very, very good for the brain. In fact, people who speak multiple languages, very intelligent.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So if we start from there to begin with, and then African families, this is my When We Rode book. This is my Bible. It has a lot of powerful history in here, written by Robin Walker. Yeah? Now, you see, this type of book, every African family, every African descendant should have this in their family. We should have encyclopedias of different books. Robin Walker's book, different African books that our children can read and we can read as parents and teach our children. You know?
Yeah.
This changes the mindsets and the answers start to come.
But you almost spoke earlier on about how difficult it was to get that book.
Yeah, because
So it's almost like they've tried everything to distract you from reading, educating yourself. They've tried to erase everything. It's so difficult. I'm pretty sure people are not going to... Some of these books you've mentioned, say I'm writing them down because I'm going to try and hunt them down. But I'm pretty sure they'll be very, very difficult to get.
Well, but things have changed now because of the internet. So even on Amazon, you can get this book on Amazon.
Lovely.
You know?
Lovely.
Things have changed. You can buy so many books online. We have no excuses.
Excuses.
The thing is, there's so many black scholars. You know, because you do a lot of research. So there's so many black scholars who have written so many books with so much knowledge that is important for us so that we can create the answers for today.
That's right.
Amen.
You know?
That's right.
So the same way Africans invest so much in religion. Yeah? Everybody has a Bible.
By the
They
way,
even put it under their pillow.
Mine
But
is
where's
there.
the history book?
Where's the history book? That's
Where
true.
is the story about ourselves?
That's true though.
You don't even know the
can-
history of the
how-
Bible.
Huh?
You don't even know the history of the
No,
Bible.
the Bible,
But
yeah.
Do you see? So how do we have the Bible but we don't have the book about us?
Yeah.
No, I love that. That's a
Do you see?
powerful.
So it's really important, and I think that's one of the foundations of the key things to our healing journey, you know, because we are in a state of trauma. We've spoken about trauma.
Yes.
we're in a state of trauma, and a lot of people don't want to accept it.
Yeah.
How can we be colonized? Even before colonization, we were enslaved, not once, not twice, not 3 times. Yeah, you guys might be thinking, what's Mama Banks talking about? Like, which one? Because some people only know the transatlantic slave trade, but they don't know about the slave trade. There's different terminologies, but the Islamic slave trade of East African people, Arab Islamic slave trade of East Africans. You know, over at least 100 million people were enslaved. That was before the transatlantic. Yeah,
Hundreds of years before.
Hundreds of years before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why you have Zanzibar, bro. You know, a lot of people that live in Zanzibar, they're the descendants of slaves.
Okay.
But they call themselves Swahili because freeborns at that time was Swahili. So Swahili became a euphemism for ex-slave.
I did not know that.
Yeah, man.
you see,
Really
at least 700 years before the transatlantic slave trade.
Wow.
Yeah. And in that slave trade, they took majority women, African women and girls. So it wasn't just human trafficking, it was sex trafficking as well.
Wow.
And they don't talk about it. It's on the hash. If you know, you know. If you don't know...
No wonder why these Arab people have this weird fetish for black women.
And the thing is, you see that channel is still open because there's issues of they're taking so-called domestic workers.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's sex trafficking. Because I know Kenya had an issue. There was a lady who was fighting for women in Kenya, you know, and there's also issues from the Ugandan route. There's also still issues from Nigeria, you know, and what is going on?
Some countries are even, some countries,
crazy.
I'm pretty sure, have banned domestic workers from going to Qatar and them places because some people are getting their organs harvested.
Yes, there's that as well.
Yeah,
there's
like,
that as well.
People come back with no kidneys and stuff. It's crazy.
You see? And then even before that, right, in the Indus Valley civilization in Mesopotamia, there was also that going on. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of history for us to read. What are we doing? What are we?
Right,
We can't just be reading English Muzungu books here. We have to pick our
It's
own.
true. Because I could tell you about Henry VIII. I could tell you about his wives,
look at
everything.
you, wow.
But if you told
You
me...
even know his wives.
I know his wives. Divorced, headed, died, all of that nonsense. But if you tell me now, tell me about your history. You got... I'd be like, I know the king.
No.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Why do you think that is? The way we've been... Why do you
That's
think
the
that is?
programming, the seeds you mentioned.
You know, so peak, yeah? You know, when you look at maybe scholars from your country or people who have done really well for like just older people, if you look at all of the old generation, a lot of them, for example, where I'm from, they look at England like as the best thing since sliced bread. I'm so serious.
Yeah.
They'll be surprised. Say, why do you know? I remember my uncle asked me, why don't you know the English? Because I don't really know the national anthem like that.
Yeah.
I don't know it. I don't know it.
He knows it.
That's
I'm thinking, why do you know it?
Oh, man.
It's like they've done such a great job
in colonizing our minds.
In colonizing our minds that now I feel like that's even their thing. Where even they're the one that's now even going to be chasing after the massa. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Because if you gave a lot of people an opportunity in Africa to come here, they'll come here.
Yeah, they'll come here easily.
Even if you told them that, imagine your country is as good as here, they'd still want to choose here.
But people are dying trying to transfer over. I mean, it's happening. It's happening all the time. It's crazy.
Even obviously, I'm a kind of like a prime example of that because obviously, my mom was a diplomat, for obviously Nigeria, whatever. But they have these things they do. It's called like posting. So you get to go to like different countries to go and work or whatever. But people might be getting posted to like Nairobi or Kenya. Like, no one wants to go. Do you know what I'm saying? But everyone's like in a key
London,
fight in like London,
US.
You might get posted to one African country. They might your family might decide, oh, we'll stay. You just go. But the moment they hear
London.
UK,
Everyone wants to go.
Everybody packs their bags and just goes. Like literally, your dad, your mom, everyone.
It's
But if it's somewhere in Africa, they'll be like, oh, you go, we'll stay. And that just shows you like, why is everyone running to this place?
You know, when I was in Sierra Leone last year, there's this boy that lives in my compound called Almami.
Yeah.
And I asked him a question, I said, Africa, they always love to reply back with questions. So I asked them, so do you want to go to England? He said to me in my language, what kind of stupid questions? Now, of course I want to go to England. So I'm like, why do you want to go to England? He said, don't you see the way we're suffering here? Then I showed them a lot of videos. Do you guys know what Wodemaya?
No. Yeah. That's the guy that goes around.
He goes around.
Yeah, shows Africa.
He shows Africa.
Yeah,
but
and the beautiful side of it.
He shows the beautiful side.
The potential.
And he shows a lot of successful business.
Successful business, yeah.
So I showed them some of his content. I said, look at that guy. He's making paint. He's literally manufacturing paint in Nigeria. Or this person has a poultry farm. Or this person, there's a thing called Innocent Motors. It's a car company in Nigeria. They manufacture cars in Nigeria. Nigerians. I showed him all of that stuff. He was so shocked. He's like, what? So they're doing this in the same continent.
and he couldn't believe
but
it.
Here's the thing, is because he was never taught that. Never taught that. Imagine you teach them that from early.
Then they would want to.
And it's not having access. It goes back to what we're talking about, not having access to things. Internet. Some of them, like, people over there are still living, the times they're living over there still like how we was back in the early 90s. Do you understand what I'm talking about? They still don't have access to internet. So how did they get a chance to go on YouTube? Some people still go and top up, do dongle. Let's be real about it. And then it goes back to, where's your vision? Where's the representation, like you was talking about earlier on? There isn't enough of it.
Because if you can see it, you can believe it.
You can believe it. There you go. That's dope.
That's so powerful, man.
That's it.
We can be here all day talking about this.
I know we got to finish soon.
It's true. But it's really important for us, I think, to really understand that we are in a state of serious trauma. I think as Africans, we don't speak enough about it. Because you hear, when we have conversations, we're like, but what is wrong with us? I'm sure you even said, but why?
Yeah, you said why? What's in our brain?
Confusion.
So going back to what we were saying, you cannot expect people who have been enslaved, they've been colonized, they have been raped, and then you think they're just going to get up and say, okay, I'm fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of healing.
Traumatized.
There's a lot of trauma. That's why Dr. Joy DeGroy from America, she wrote that book, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. And then she also speaks about transferred trauma, right?
Yeah.
There is transferred trauma in our DNA. Yeah. It's not about people who always want to say, you want to be victims so bad. They only gaslight us Africans.
By the way,
other people...
But other people
who have been through trauma,
they get reparations.
They get all this...
they keep telling us there's no money. But as soon as there's war in this country here, money appears.
Out of nowhere.
Hundreds and hundreds. Billions. Oh,
every month they say they're sending...
Where did this money come from?
Do you understand?
Pandemic came. Everybody stay at home. Free money to you guys.
Do you understand?
How's this money coming from? Well, when it comes to reparation, all of a sudden we don't have any money.
Guys,
all of a sudden we're not our ancestors.
No.
Because some excuses.
Yeah, you're not your ancestors.
Excuses.
Move on. Get over it.
On.
Why would you keep talking about it?
Toothpick in their mouth. Move
on. Gaslighting.
Don't get me started.
Start feeling guilty and saying, are we really trying to be victims?
You're playing the race card.
We've gone through so much. And on top of that, with everything that we've been through, look at how we have still fought to be where we are.
Of course.
And nobody shares the history that we have.
Nobody.
They will say, other people got enslaved. But for how long?
Imagine this. We're still being enslaved.
Do you understand? Other people but was it chattel slavery? Because there's a difference.
There's a big difference.
And there's a difference in being a slave and being enslaved. So they don't share our history, but still we've been resilient, we've fought, and we're still trying to...
We're still striving.
Do the right thing. But we have to do the groundwork in terms of healing ourselves. And it starts with the knowledge of who we are, first of all. Because they gave us all these Bazungu names.
Marvin.
They gave us all these...
What's your Marvin?
When I ask you, when I meet people and they tell me this is your name. In fact, by the way, what's your Ugandan name?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, Mulinde.
But that's your surname, no?
Yeah.
Okay, but what's your
Ugandan name?
Ugandan name.
I don't want to say it on air.
Okay.
We'll say behind the scenes.
That's fine. You
We'll say behind the scenes.
Because I presume that it's like a Kato or Waswa or something like that as your first name. Because as Africans, right? If they ask you, what's your name? Our first name should be African.
Yeah. In Uganda, that's how it is.
Saying my name is John. My name is Fred.
Yeah,
My
I'm
name
glad.
No,
Yeah,
Mama, you're
I have
right. 'Cause
African
I
name.
used to get upset when because obviously my Igbo name is Chukudi.
Chukudi.
But I would come in school. I used to get upset
When people call you that.
I wanted to switch it round so badly. It was beyond me.
Yeah.
But when you're in Africa, that was
No,
they called
bro,
me
I was
Chukudi,
with
Chukudi.
you, bro.
But when I come here, I wanted to
You're
be
right.
called Emmanuel, so I didn't want them calling
It's
me
not
that.
just
Also
you,
be
'cause-
laughing when they're calling
Yeah, when you
the
mentioned that in
attendants.
class.
And they're calling you
Chukudi.
Not even that. They will
I know
they'll
they
butcher
pronounce
it.
it.
They'll be like chicken.
Yeah.
Me, they call me Dare. Oh my, because my name is Dare. So Dare, yeah. But I've like
Is it
that's
Dare?
no, but it is spelled Dare. It's spelled D-A-R-E with an accent on the E.
Yeah.
But obviously there's
call
no,
you-
they don't put the accent
My
on
name
the
is
E.
Sean.
So
Sean.
just right.
Sean.
They call it Sean. Because they can't be bothered. They just automatically oh Dare. Oh, that's a very
Exotic.
Exotic. Oh, is it French? I'm like, no.
It's the same
it's
thing that
not.
happens with like Muslim names though. Because like where I'm from, that whole Senegambia, Sierra Leone, a lot of people just have Islamic first names and they have the African last
That's
names.
a different colonization.
Some people,
Yeah.
some people even have Islamic last names.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, but to Uzama's point, when I went to school in Uganda, they would call me Mulinde Marvin. So Mulinde was my first name. Marvin. When I came here, I didn't want anyone to even know my name was Mulinde. I was like, no, I'm Marvin, innit? Like, you know, you deny
feel
your
it.
Africanness.
You feel it.
Yeah, and it's only when I started growing up, when I was in uni, that I said, no, actually, and I switched it. And I said, no, I'm Melinda the Fourth. Everywhere I go around now, I call myself, because I was like, actually, I'm proud of my Ugandanness. I no longer want to be the only reason I like Marvin is because my mum named me and she passed away. Other than that, I might have removed it by deed poll by now, to be honest, because I am proud of you lot know me, bro. Any chance I get, I will mention Uganda because I'm proud of where I
Well, this
come
one
from.
now is on questions. We're questioning this.
But I find it a bit weird though, because it's like sometimes even the kids that are born in the UK, like the Nigerians, even some of them use like their African name as their first name. So it's mad like how they're using it.
Times are
But the ones
changing.
that coming from here,
Yeah.
and then we're like, nah, I want to change it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's
weird.
wild.
It's
But I think
weird.
times have changed though.
Yeah, times
Remember
have
when we
changed.
was in school,
Yeah.
Africans wasn't really accepted
Yeah,
like
we're
that.
popping.
Yeah.
So you're trying to
We
fit.
weren't
Yeah, we weren't
popping
popping
at
at all. So it's like you're trying to fit in with
That's
the
how we fought for you
Caribbeans.
people to be popular.
Yeah, no facts, facts. Trust me, we tried to fit in with the Caribbeans because they were the cool thing. Because they'd been here, they'd fought their way into the coolness.
And then we piggybacked.
Exactly my point. But now it's cool now. So now, like you said, man, can with your chest and say, "This is my name." You know what I
Mama,
mean?
sorry, did you go to school here?
No.
Are you at school in Uganda?
Well, sorry, tell a lie. I came here when I was 12, so I did go to secondary
What
school.
do you mean she goes to here? She graduated recently.
I know. By the way, congratulations.
I forgot.
No, I'm just going to say quickly, if you can tell us
Thank you.
how your racism was when
Yeah.
you...
Well, I came here when I was 12, right? And that was in the 80s, right? So it was serious. As in, like, you really... How do you even quantify it, put it in words, you know? But there were so many experiences, you know? And imagine in those days, I mean, when I came, I didn't know what racism was.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
I didn't know I didn't know about colonization. I used to hear about Speak and all these.
Yeah, in SST studies.
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
The
explorers,
colonizers, the explorers.
Missionaries.
Yeah, okay, yeah, of course, yeah.
But I hadn't got to, because by the time I left, I would have gone to like senior S1.
Yeah, S1, yeah.
But I
SS1,
just left, so I didn't get to study the history. So when I came here, I was completely oblivious, right? So somebody could have said something racist to me. I'd be like,
What does that mean?
What does it even mean?
What does it even mean?
But you can feel the microaggressions in class, like with some of the teachers, and then there was this thing with the Africans and the
Caribbean, yeah.
Yo,
Was
they
it
used
mad?
to get on.
So
like,
you lot even had the wow.
yeah, so because obviously the Caribbeans, it's like, you know, there was this, they will call you an AF.
Yeah.
You know, all
ABC
this.
African bum scratcher. That's one I'll never forget.
Which one? When they call
That's
you
what
that
they used to
one?
call me in school.
Wow.
The Caribbeans,
Pepper
the
grains.
Jamaicans,
Pepper
pepper
grains,
grains.
yeah. Yeah.
So there was all that teasing that was going on, you know. So it was really weird because I was like, but we look the same.
So what the problem is?
You know, what's really going on here? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was very weird, but we had to just kind of like get on with things. You don't have a choice, you know. And then slowly I started to understand and to realize what was going on. And the way I started learning African history was I used to see the Rastafarians on the street, on Woolly Road.
Yeah. Woolly Road. Wow.
They're still there.
With the books, you know, the ISIS papers and all of this. And I was like, wow, I like this movement. What's going on? So I'll go there and I want to hear what they're saying. And they were very passionate. And we were saying all these things. And I was like, wow, that's so wild. Like, what are they talking about? So I would ask them questions and I would stand there and listen and talk and ask. And that's how I started to find out, you know. But it was a challenge because when I came, my hair was, you know, my afro. And it's like people were struggling. It's like, I don't want to go to school with my hair like this. I want braids. I want this. And so slowly those things start to creep in. And then you're watching TV. All you see is bazungu.
Yeah, straight hair and all that,
No representation of yourself. And then when you see the African Americans, every minute they're straightening their hair. They're talking about hot combing, this, even though we hot combed at home. But for them, it was like,
it was a lifestyle.
I find that very interesting because I didn't have to go through that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're hearing now, yeah? we have to do our own.
No, because the thing is, I was born in 2000.
Jesus Christ.
2000.
I feel very old.
Mad millennium.
Yeah, you should. So the thing is with me, like, growing up here, because I went to school, everything was done in Peckham. If you know, that area is like 99.9% Nigerian.
Yeah.
So from my primary school to my secondary school, in my school there was tribalism. There wasn't even, it was Igbo people beefing Ashantis, beefing
Imagine.
Yeah.
So not even racism, but tribalism.
Okay.
That's what's going on in my school.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't imagine, you know, that. So, actually, some people will try it, but they'll get corrected very quickly.
Corrected.
Yeah.
I like that.
People will get corrected. Wow. So I can't imagine that, but at the same time, I'm grateful.
Yeah,
because I didn't have to go through that.
That's good, and it's good that you're aware of that because we went through it. Some of us were almost going to palm our hair, relax it so it could be straight.
You didn't do it.
Nah, my dad. You know my dad, man.
The palming with spotting wave.
Yeah. And they use you try to get that
do-rag.
Just to be like those people. We suffered.
And they're trying to be like us.
You see?
Crazy, innit?
You see how crazy it is?
How the tables turn around.
How the tables have turned. The tables are always turning.
I feel like the chosen ones will always rise up.
Come on.
Hey.
We had a chosen few. Anyway, we've spoke a lot. We have sadly come to the end of the session. But I thought before we go, I think Fassah, it would be great if you could give us one interesting fact about black history or black people that you don't think we'd know.
Oh, you don't? Yeah.
Oh man, just one.
No, feel free. Wherever the spirit, let the spirit guide you.
I'm just gonna say a random one.
Okay.
You know Boluku, stockfish.
Yeah.
You know, the reason why that exists. You know that came from Norway, right?
Came from where? Norway.
No.
Yeah.
It came from where?
So
Norway.
So I was saving this for if we discuss Biafra Civil War. So what happened was, the Biafra Civil War was so prominent, it attracted a lot of attention and a lot of aid around the world.
Okay.
So Norway's contribution was stockfish. Can you imagine? And now when you look at that,
So to preserve
that's
it,
like
they were dried.
Exactly. Because people are dying of kwashiorkor and all of those things.
Wow.
So now it's like it's like literally like a staple in Nigerian cooking.
Jesus.
But a lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
My head is
They were
spun.
drying the. Wow.
And you know what? I've never liked stockfish.
And now you know why.
I think for me, my issue with it was the smell.
You see that thing, when you pack that thing at the bottom of your fridge, then you open that, the smell that comes
The
out.
smell.
I used to fight my dad because of this fish, mama.
How do we know that we're not actually insulting us?
By the way.
No, we don't know, you know.
They have to look for the smell.
It's true.
Yeah, the smell.
It's true.
They said we'll just give them
The smelly fish.
the
But to
smelly
be
fish.
fair, look, listen, there's so many things that's been created. We've made lemon out of lemonade out
That
of
fish
lemon.
is very nice in the
'Cause
soup.
There's a lot of I
Nice
think
though.
like pig intestines, pig feet. There's so many things that were throwaway things
that we made
into a staple dish. It's crazy.
Why though?
But no, I'm talking about during slavery and during those times, isn't it? But I think the point, during slavery, So I think the point I'm making is whatever they do, we always find ways to raid. We always find ways.
Let me say a better one that just came to
mind. Okay, thank you.
You see in Benin City in Nigeria.
Yes.
Benin.
Benin,
Benin.
They had like...
That's where his hair was partly from.
Oh, okay.
As a Ghanaian man.
Okay.
But like, so they had street lights before Europeans did.
Oh.
And you know what they used to make the street lights out of?
No.
Palm oil.
What?
It's crazy.
I swear though.
When you say street lights,
I'm not even making this up. Street lights that will light the street,
Well, like with fire, with electricity, what?
I can't remember specifically, but I know they use palm oil.
I don't know the science behind it, but can you take this fact?
I'm taking that.
I swear down, they use palm oil.
Before Benin, right?
To burn the fire.
The country or the city? The state? The country?
No, Benin City.
Benin City, yeah.
They used to light the King's Palace.
No, I'm not surprised.
That's basically a dough, innit?
Yeah. We had everything, man.
No, Thank you for those facts, man.
Well,
you got any more in your chamber, or is that good for now?
I always have some, but if I keep
talk
going,
about Biafra.
Okay.
I need to learn about Biafra.
No, dope.
Mama Banks, congratulations on your recent degree.
Congrats. Even my own mother. Like, I don't know how you lot do it.
Yeah.
My mom, after raising 5 kids, now in her 50s, went to do law and got 2-1. By the way, not small thing.
Not small.
And then went to Nigeria for a court to bar, what they call it, and then even got barrister, all of that stuff.
Wow.
That's it.
Like insane. I don't know what the drive is. Like what pushed you?
It's an interesting story. So every time I spoke to people, they'll say to me, "Are you a lawyer? Are you a teacher? Are you a lawyer?" And I was like, "Rah, something is in my blood."
The ancestors are.
Yeah, because I felt like a message was being sent to me, and people will even say to me like, I need you to come and represent me.
Wow.
And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? So I started thinking, Banang clear. Maybe there might be something there.
Something in the water.
The way you like to argue.
Wow.
Maybe let's take this to a different level and start using it.
Come on.
You give that aura though, the way you ask why.
Yeah.
That's my favorite word, by the way.
Why?
Yeah.
I want to know the foundation. And even underneath the foundation, I still want to go deeper. Do you understand? I don't want to take it on the surface.
Very investigative.
But who? And this is, by the way, how I ended up, because I used to be a very staunch Christian.
Okay.
And I ended up leaving.
Because you asked why.
Because I kept asking why. You've told me this, but why?
You know what made me question that? ISIS papers.
Oh. Banang, we need to read these papers.
They said the Bible was the greatest story ever told.
You see? So me,
I didn't know you believe in things like that.
The only thing about me, I'm not as articulative as I listen.
But you know your things.
Yeah, but I know some things here and there. No.
Oh, thank you. But you know, so I always ask a lot of questions. Do you get what I'm
saying?
Yeah. Even though sometimes people get irritated because but why do you want to know why? Just take the thing.
Just
you know?
take
and
it.
I'm like, I want to know who
You see
wrote
Christians, when you wide them,
Wait, is a problem,
it
isn't it?
becomes a problem. Yeah.
They will say you want to gossip. Why do you want to go?
Or you don't question God.
You don't question, yeah.
I always
How can you not question?
How can you not question? I'll say, but this same God that gave me intelligence,
Yeah, to
you
ask
gave me a
why.
brain.
Now you're telling me not to
Then
use
now
it.
you don't want me to ask you questions. Why? Are you
Why?
like God?
She said why.
Are you really God or are you the slave master? Eh? Because if you're God and you know who you are and you're omnipresent, omnipotent, everything, Alpha, Omega, everything. No matter what I ask you, you will give me the answer.
Yes, that's true. So it might just be better asking directly. Not even ask the pastor.
You see? And why does the book, the book that's supposed to be the everything, why is it on silence? Why is it silent about so many things? Why did this book allow? Why is there what's it called? indoctrination that allows that we were supposed to be enslaved? Why is it there? And why is there sexism? Is it God or was it a man that wrote it? Do you see? So you ask all these questions and then you get to the point you're like, no. These people are trying to take us for,
Trying to do 419 us.
Do you see what I'm saying? So it's important to ask those questions. But back to what we were saying, which was...
It led you to your degree. Your degree's in law?
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
makes sense. Okay. Oh, just like his mum.
Bachelor of Law.
Yeah.
Just like his mum. And you're doing your master's, I heard.
Yes, I'm
Through the
starting my
grapevine.
master's.
Yeah, I heard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Powerful woman. Well, we definitely wish you the best.
We're behind you.
We are behind you. Please invite us to the graduation party.
You.
Yeah, thank you.
Because we're going to need Mama to fight some of these grand people. And this, when they want to give us rubbish deal.
You're so stupid.
But just to add to that, I found out later that my dad actually studied law
Wow.
before he met my mom.
Wow.
And I was like, Mom, you never told me this story. She said, I told you. I said, I don't.
I don't remember.
You know, I think she told because there's 6 of us. So I said, you told the other siblings. You didn't tell me.
Or you were busy asking why. What she was telling.
So I found out that he started, but he didn't finish because my dad was also a musician. And he had a band. So he was traveling all
It seems
over
like everything
Uganda.
connects, isn't it? Yeah. Wow.
So he was traveling all over Uganda playing his music, Congolese music, by the way. Congolese music. So that's what he was doing. So, and then he met my mom while he was traveling, fell in love, and then law school just...
He said, forget law school. Forget asking why.
Do you get me? So I feel like it's him as well within me who
Telling you
wanted
to
to
continue.
finish. You know?
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. We are with you all the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Do you have a last word for our viewers? I mean, you told them to go and get the book, but
Please, get the book. Let this be under your pillow, in your living room, everywhere, because we all need to study our story. Yeah.
Amen.
In terms of like fun facts about Africa, there's so much to say, right? But I think a lot of people don't understand the impact of Kemet and on the world, right? And before Kemet, obviously there was Nubia. You know, we had different dynasties, but Africans are the ones who invented knowledge, right? Africans are the ones who invented writing systems. Africans are the ones, in fact, women created agriculture.
Come on.
Yeah? Women were the first teachers, the first doctors. The book of medicine that the Bazungu are in possession of came from Africa. The oldest book of medicine. Okay? Written by King Imhotep.
Imhotep, yeah.
King.
That's Egyptian, that was Egyptian king.
Who was taught by his mum.
Wow, I didn't know this.
She taught him everything that he knew. And then he wrote the book of medicine. And it's now with
in the hands of
with the colonizers. But when they talk about doctors and medicine, they make it seem like it's not even from our side. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And when the doctors actually give their allegiance, it's to the African god of medicine. But they changed his name.
Oh.
Yeah. So they always took African names and they changed them.
Okay.
So it's like the name that they're calling, for them they think it's a Muzungu from Greek. It's an African king.
Oh. What's his name? Do you know this?
Yes, I can't pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
So maybe
We'll
we
Google
can we'll write it.
And then put it in
I
the,
don't want to butcher it.
All right, cool.
You know?
Interesting.
So yeah, but it's interesting that women started agriculture and women were herbalists and doctors and all these things. And yet the colonizer always tries to reduce the woman to just being inside the home. You know?
Fake news.
That's dope.
Anyway.
Wow, thank you for that last word.
So much knowledge, man.
Guys, I'm going to be selfish here. I'm sorry. You're going to forgive me. You're going to hate me.
Why?
But because she spoke on Egypt and I was reading something about my report, I just want to say it real quickly. Okay. I'm sorry, guys.
Go for it.
But it says here, Marvin, you share an ancient paternal lineage with Pharaoh Ramesses III.
Wow.
Is it?
I'm not even lying.
Wow.
You just redacted that.
I swear down, which means I'm legitimately royal, guys. So it's for anyone that doubted me, I have royal blood. Ramesses the Third. What did he do? Is he a big man in Egypt, right? Like, check that out. I just want to end on that.
That was such a good setup.
I'm being selfish, but I had to redeem.
Now you're going to put another AKA title.
Yes, you better know.
So you see what's happening on the chapter? The new era is about to start. The Uganda question is going around, but the prince is Egyptian now.
No, I'm sorry.
He's Egyptian now.
What do you call in Uganda? You call a king? Is it Kabaka?
Kabaka, yeah.
Kabaka.
No, guys, it was selfish, but it spun me that my thing. I had to get something good. I had to look for something good. So forgive me.
Some wealth for us, man.
Listen,
guys, just use it. You have to get some.
I'm a descendant of a pharaoh.
What? Legit.
Are you mad?
You even have the hair.
Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Egyptian.
You're not serious.
Wow. Okay.
But sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. Just small interjection. In fact, when Robin Walker talks about this, when they asked the Egyptians where they came from, they said they came from the mountains of the moon. Now, for those who don't know where the mountains of the moon, you have to Google it. But where is it? It's in modern day Uganda.
Oh,
wow. Congo.
Oh, wow.
The mountain of the moon.
Yeah.
That is, I'm going to research this. I'm looking so forward to this.
Robin Walker said it.
Mountains of the moon.
He's the history man.
Yeah.
And I am a descendant of a pharaoh.
You guys built the pyramids.
Basically.
And then you're going to start
I'm telling you now.
Ugandans and Congolese
come after you.
That's a good fact. That's an interesting fact. This has been such a. We might have to do this again. A part two. I think there's too much that we didn't dive into. But I've really enjoyed having you guys on. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Fassah, where can they find you? Because I know you do.
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube soon.
I just want to give a shout out to Casa de Roy.
Come on.
Yeah.
This is where my lovely top is from. So please go and check them out. They're African, well, it's Ugandan actually. Ugandan by Sue Ochola de Roy. She's the designer and
Wonderful garments.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful garments.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Okay, was it Casa de Roy?
Casa de Roy.
Casa de Roy.
Yeah.
If you do men's clothing, also you can also get some.
They do.
Yeah, they need to jazz that up.
Hey, you're not feeling it. This is Ugandan traditional Buganda.
Is it?
But Chikoi, but I hear Somalians also claim it, but I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Yeah. But no, beautiful. And
I like that.
Yeah, Mama Banks, I don't know if you want anyone to find you anywhere or or should we just leave it as that?
There'll be a lot of people that want to ask why.
Yeah.
They can come and ask why.
Okay.
I'll just give them sources so that they can go and look.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to do their research for them.
Come on.
I'm not going to do the homework because I've already done mine.
By the way.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But, they can find me at Cleopatra Figure 8 on Instagram. Yeah, I'm there.
You were there.
I said I'm there.
There. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on. We really appreciate it. Please let us know in the comments if you enjoyed the episode. Yeah. If you've got anything to add to the history that's spoken about, any other things you want us to touch on. We appreciate you guys. Till next time. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the In My Opinion podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, peace.